Penguin Random House Audio presents The Healing Power of Loving Kindness, a guided Buddhist meditation by Tulku Thondup, read for you by Dominic Hoffman. Preface. Loving kindness, in Sanskrit called Maitri, is the thought of wishing joy and well-being for all with no selfish attitude. The power of loving kindness fully awakens our mind and makes it open boundlessly. It is the thought and feeling of unconditional, pure, and universal love. Love toward all without any discrimination or distinction, hesitation or reservation, expectation or hope of reward. A powerful way of awakening loving kindness in the heart and mind is through connecting to devotion to the Buddha of loving kindness and compassion, in Sanskrit called Avalokitesvara. When we talk about devotion, we are talking about opening our heart with great energy, joy, and trust. The joy comes from being in the presence of the Buddha of loving kindness, and the trust is in his unconditional love. As soon as we feel such joy and trust in the Buddha and his unconditional love, we will instantly find our own mind and heart completely steeped in and saturated with the energy of loving kindness. We feel the qualities of pure love. Such experiences will inspire us to put our pure thoughts and feelings of loving kindness into action, the words and deeds that reflect loving kindness for all. Buddhism teaches that everything we see, hear, or feel originates in the mind, is led by the mind, and is experienced by the mind, or consciousness. In the Dharmapada, the Buddha says, all are led by the mind. Mind is the main factor, and it is the forerunner of all actions. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows, as a shadow follows its source. The mind is always preoccupied with mental objects, images, sounds, and sensations. We formulate habits and unending chains of cause and effect within this mind stream, all resulting in either joy or pain. As long as the mind is relating to mental objects with attachment, jealousy, denial, or hatred, our life will be enslaved and conditioned by these mental objects. We will never experience freedom from the up and down feelings of sadness, fear, excitement, and pain that we are entrapped in by depending on what's happening from moment to moment in our external environment. Experiences of devotion and loving kindness, on the other hand, pacify and purify our mental and emotional rigidities and afflictions. They instantly cheer up our heart and awaken the intrinsic pure qualities of our own mind. Many think that their identity is their body, but from the Buddhist perspective, the mind is who we are, and the body is only a temporary resting place for the mind. At death, the body merges into the elements of nature, but the mind migrates into another body, by taking rebirth in accordance with the established habitual tendencies of the mind. Therefore, in order to transform our present life and endless future lives into a state of unconditional love and boundless joy, we must focus on improving the present qualities of the mind by developing habits of positive thoughts and feelings in our mental stream. This improves the qualities of our mind. This audiobook offers 12 stages of guided meditations on loving kindness, along with 4 meditation tools. The goal of these meditations is to realize 3 levels of results in the form of experiences and attainments. The third, visualization of the Buddha of loving kindness, through the 5th, filling the body with the blessing light of loving kindness stages, are for realizing the first result. The 6th, transforming the body into blessing light and the mind into loving kindness, through the 10th, sharing the loving kindness with all stages, are for realizing the second result. The 11th stage, resting in the awareness of loving kindness, is for realizing the third result. The first and second stages are the preparatory training for the main stages of meditation, and the 12th stage is the concluding meditation. The experiences of each set of results are indispensable stepping stones for enjoying the next results. That is to say, succeeding results are the fruits of the previous ones. First result: devotion to the Buddha of loving kindness inspires loving kindness in us. When we are fully perceiving the presence of the Buddha of loving kindness with devotion and feeling his unconditional love, the quality of our mind changes instantly from negative or neutral thoughts and feelings to positive thoughts and feelings, that is, to loving kindness, fully opening our heart in order to experience the amazing joy of being in the presence of the Buddha and having unconditional trust in him and his love is the essence of devotion. Then we repeat the prayer mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. This mantra becomes the sound of the energy waves of our devotion, a force that opens our heart to the Buddha with joy and trust and without any hesitation, reservation, or ego. Seeing and feeling the Buddha's presence and his sacred qualities, such as his unconditional love, generate instant devotion and loving kindness in our hearts. Our mind and body become boundlessly open with the energy of celebration and confidence. To attain freedom, we must start by meditating on seeing and feeling the positive qualities of these mental objects. We must meditate on seeing the spiritual qualities of the Buddha of loving kindness in order to generate devotion and loving kindness in ourselves. If we do so, we will redirect the habits of our mind from a cycle of negative, reactive emotions toward emotions that are positive and loving. We will then spontaneously enjoy a revolutionary transformation in our life. We will gain mental strength and wisdom that bring everlasting freedom from dependence on external circumstances. This freedom is illustrated in the story of a refugee boy called Pema, who was born and grew up in great poverty. His life was bleak. His joy and suffering were totally at the mercy of others. But eventually, a kind person offered him help in the form of getting him into a good school. Pema cheerfully and gratefully accepted the assistance. Soon he started to discover an inexhaustible richness of knowledge and skills within himself, gifts that had in fact been with him all along simply because he was born human. Over time, he not only became joyful and prosperous, but was an enriching source of benefit and help for others too. Like Pema, the first task we face is that we must dare to open our heart and accept help, in the form of the positive light that comes our way, for our own sake. Seeing and having confidence in the powerful presence of the Buddha of loving kindness and his unconditional love are the beginning of healing and transforming our life. When we experience this devotion to the Buddha of loving kindness, this sense of joy and trust from the depth of our heart, we will be on our way to enjoying pure thoughts and joyful feelings of love. The ice-like negative emotions and painful sensations of our mind will start melting into the nectar stream of love and joy, because the way that we see the world directly affects what we feel. For example, when someone enters the room, if we perceive him as a terrorist, we will freeze with shock and fear by the mere sight and sound of him. But as soon as we realize that he is a nice and gentle person whom we know well, our heart will be joyous. Likewise, as soon as we see the Buddha as a body of loving kindness, the blazing light of peace, joy, and love will be ignited in our heart because of the powers of our own pure perception and by the blessed qualities of the Buddha. If we learn to see any mental object, such as people or nature, ideas or sensations, as a body of positive qualities, then the image, thought, or feeling of loving kindness will be available.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?